Welcome to Real Estate Unleashed. I am your host, Regan Hildebrand, and
I am your host, Bridget Quinn. You can find me on all social media at BQuinnRealtor.
you can find me at Regan on all social media.
What a
Beware
day.
of all the cute dog pics and the unsuspecting pictures of my children if you run across it. I feel like a lot of realtors do nothing but the business style, the little infographics and stuff on social media, and the reposting of memes and things.
Memes are good.
I just post pics of kids and dogs usually.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, to each your own, right?
To each their own. I'm guilty as well.
Yeah. So welcome, Bridget. We're back for another episode here. We had a little open house we did together this past weekend.
Did.
Yeah, that was fun.
Always fun.
Yeah, we had some good sponsors. Some shout outs to Continental Home Inspections for sponsoring our open house, and also to Michael Frazier with Home Lending Pros. So yeah, we had
Be entertaining as always.
Yeah, good cookies. That's the important part.
Good cookies. That's the best part of an open house, man.
Yeah. Cookies and soda and no alcoholic beverages at this one, but
no, not at this one.
Wasn't quite late enough in the day.
It's early.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh gosh.
No, appreciate you helping me out with that one. So had a few folks stop by and check out the home, and it was fun. I think that was a good example too of the unexpected that can happen at open houses.
Yes.
We both rolled up on there, and the neighbors were burning piles of leaves across the road.
Welcome to Cabarrus County.
So yeah, it's proof that when you say you want a home in a no HOA neighborhood, you really want a home in a no HOA neighborhood.
You can do whatever, yeah, as long as there's a no burn ban, right?
There's no burn ban in Cabarrus County currently. What?
I said that smoke was rolling in.
Yeah. So this
it's always super windy for open houses.
It blew it in the opposite direction for most of the open house, thank God, but 'tis the season.
Tis the season.
Burn leaves in the county outside the city limits.
But yeah, it's always something, right?
It's always something. It's fun, but hey, we had a good little showing there. It was good otherwise, other than the smoke across the water. Nice. Yeah. That's that capped off the weekend.
It did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then what else has real estate brought you lately other than smoke and leaf burning?
Eye twitching, and just going through the motions of seeing what people post on social media and getting organized for the start of the year. I got my new planner in the mail the other day, so ready for doing all that. And eye twitching. Speaking of eyes, my daughter has an eye infection, and it's just that time of year where everything's sick, even the houses. Even the houses are a little sick. Had a nice little inspection report come back this morning showing a mold issue. Yeah?
Yeah, so even homes get sick, right?
Well, there is definitely no such thing as the perfect house 100% anyway, right?
No. Yeah, in fact, we met with a builder just yesterday, too, looking at some new construction with our firm, and it reminded me that even when you have the new construction, because I don't know if you were still there, we were walking through the second home. Were you with us on the second one? And it was in the early drywall stages, and you can see the trusses and the all that good stuff in the home, and it made me think I had a very similar home that we did a pre-drywall inspection, I think it was about a year and a half ago, and cracks in the trusses and stuff, and this is it's brand new construction. It was not the builder that we went and visited yesterday.
Right. Yeah. Funny, I had the same pre-drywall inspection of another builder a little south of Charlotte, and it was the same. I mean, nothing terrible, but again, it's a reason why even with new construction, you would think that they're more perfect, but they're not. So, no. I mean, it helps to still have a great builder, but even with great builders, there's still going to be something that needs to be addressed, and they don't really have a problem taking care of it or making sure that it's right, but it's still having these inspections to take a better look or a closer look at it.
An extra set of eyes.
Right.
Is what I tell clients. And,
Wow.
I mean, things can pass code, building codes, but doesn't mean, to your point, that everything's immaculate or perfect inside the house. Whether it be a remodel or a new construction, either way, you can have all the permits. You can have what we call a CO, certificate of occupancy, and be ready to go.
As you say, like that just makes it okay for that code for that
bare minimums.
That city, that county, whatever you're dealing with at the time. Not necessarily to, as you say, okay, there's a small crack here, or that one. Why did they do that way? Maybe the flooring is pushed up or
buckled.
Whatever, you still need to have stuff looked at with that extra set of eyes.
Yeah, I had new construction also with a client that, again, everything was ready to rock and roll, code permit wise, but it still had improper grading that the inspector picked up on, basically where...
I've seen a lot of that more so too with the new construction, yeah.
It's sloping towards the house, so water's going to pull up against...
There was one, it wasn't mine, it was from the big group that we're all on Facebook, where we can kind of share information or share questions or what have you. And someone had posted a picture of new construction, like it was to the phase where literally a couple days away from closing, and you checked the final inspection, and it had rained a whole lot for maybe a couple days on end, and the whole backyard was completely underwater. Just completely not what do you want to say?
Flooded, basically, but just a big pond.
Just a big pond, and it wasn't graded properly compared to the others, because it was one of these neighborhoods that goes like up and then down, and where this house laid, it was
just in that low-lying area.
Just in that low-lying area where you're going to have to do a little bit different grading and a different way to do that stuff. It was just, I felt so bad for that agent and their buyers doing that stuff. I mean, I'm sure they took care of it eventually, but
there's ways to fix anything. Most anything, right? But you want to catch it before you sign the documents. And in new construction, that inspection is going to make sure both the pre-drywall, we call it, which is that inspection before they close in the walls, so you
can kind of see literally see behind the scenes, see the studs, or see
check the electrical more easily. Excuse me,
the plumbing, yeah. It's one of those days, dude.
Yeah. You check everything in the pre-drywall, and then you have a final inspection too. That gives you that last opportunity.
Yeah.
To fix
and then,
it.
With new construction, it's the blue tape inspection, as I think a lot of us like to call it, the punch list of, okay, there's this mark, and that's kind of fun for the clients. It's fun for me. I was like, just give me your extra roll of tape. Let me tape everything too.
And then I walked into one. It was actually, I was filling in for Donnie, who was with us.
Shout out Donnie.
Yeah, if they're on the West Coast, listen. And I walked in a few minutes after they had already begun with the builder, and this was the main, I don't know what you call it, site foreman or whatever they called it, and the clients had already gotten there, and Donnie was out of town, so I showed up, and I walked in literally into the foyer, and it was a sea of that blue painter's tape.
It's overwhelming.
And they had marked every corner. If there was a little piece of crown molding that it wasn't perfectly smooth where the seam meets on the 8-foot sections, they had marked that. Oh my God, I could see the look of just white ghost face on the super, and oh my God.
That's
you can't get it perfect.
No, it's not perfect, but there's several new constructions I've helped deal with, and it's one of those things, like, especially if you have any sort of OCD, if they slight off on like the tile backsplash or things like that, it was like eye twitching. Oh my gosh.
It's like, you don't want to walk in and you see a 10-degree decline on the backsplash, or The vanity is off center from the mirror, or vice versa.
No.
And things like that have to be taken care of. But there's
Yeah.
some areas of
Well,
forgiveness that you have to.
that's the joys of new construction. Like, it's new, but it's never going to be perfect. But even if you do a resale house too,
Oh yeah,
there, it depends on how old it is, how lived in, how well maintained everything is, as to how much issues, I guess, potential for issues that you're going to run into.
right. And you and I were talking before we started recording this morning. I just got an inspection report literally a couple hours ago, and this is a house that I'm representing the sellers on, and they purchased it 3 years ago, and they had an inspection 3 years ago, and somehow from 2019 to now, the dryer vent has disappeared, like underneath the house.
Just like, poof, gone.
Crawl space, yeah, just gone. And
Huh.
so, the dryer connects. Well, the hose that goes from the
Right.
dryer to, I guess, the flooring
outside,
is
yeah.
there, but from the flooring underneath in a crawl space, the hose that goes underneath the house to the exterior of the home is somehow gone. Weird things.
Question
Strange things are afoot at the
Yes.
7-Eleven. Circle K. Either one. There's no Circle K's around us, so I'll say 7-Eleven.
no.
But
Yeah.
it's
Well,
mysteries.
A lot of mysteries. That, again, this is why we suggest in every purchase to always have as many different inspections as you can do and as needed. Not every home is on the septic, so you won't need a septic inspection, obviously. But, those are the things that you want to, that's your opportunity to take a look at. And we've talked about it before. Take the time and spend the money to get that thorough check. And,
Yeah.
it's like your check engine lights. You gotta see what the scoop is.
Yeah, you have to hook it up, get the diagnostics, and know what you're dealing with before you shell out money to either fix it or, remediate, or maybe, get a second opinion if home inspection shows something.
Well, that's your best chance to say if it's too much, too bad. You would rather take the loss on your due diligence money and possibly walk away and go find something else. I mean,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah,
That's the reality of it, unfortunately.
out of, many, many, many hundreds of transactions, I've only had clients walk away from the contract during that inspection period, I think 3 times.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I think every one of those was a structural issue, which, that means that the actual, in these cases, foundation issues were at stake, and it was going to be 5 figures and above, well above, more like the mid 5-figure range to fix some of these issues. And
Well, that's okay too if it's priced accordingly, or those issues and you can account for some of that. But some people aren't handy enough or equipped enough to deal with that sort of thing.
or don't have the time.
No.
It could just be you need a move-in ready house, and you can't wait 3 to 4 weeks for these major issues to be fixed,
Right.
or don't know what the actual outcome would be once you tackle it. So, yeah, sometimes it makes sense to walk away. Other times, things can be scary on paper, but the actual solution is not so scary.
No.
And, like I think about stuff with, unadjusted doors or flooring that's
The
buckled.
rocky toilet is the one
Rocking
that I always
toilet,
get
yeah.
every time.
That's one of the bullet points on that inspection report I got this morning.
Every time, I'm telling
It's
you, the
every
toilet
single
rocks.
report. I don't know if that's just like, it's just every home has a rocking toilet. Bad seal. But yeah, I mean, your husband Tony's a handyman. I did appreciate on this inspection report it called out and said specifically the inspector recommended handyman for most of the things on there.
Oh, well, that's good.
So you're not scaring
that's
people by
unusual.
saying licensed contractor
Well,
for every single item.
to step back a little bit, on inspection reports, inspectors, generally speaking, I would say a very high percentage of the time, always say consult a licensed blank, licensed contractor, licensed
Plumber,
structural
electrician.
engineer, plumber, what have you, because they want to
CYA.
cover your
America's
America's
ass.
yeah. Ooh,
You okay there? At a moment.
yeah, no, you want to cover your bases, and they're doing that for their liability purposes.
Yeah.
So the way that they structure the report findings, they have to say it in a way that takes that liability off their plate, so to speak.
Yeah, and
So, as you say, to your point, most of the time, the findings they sound worse than they are.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not meant to scare. I think there might be some that are, when it's given
sure.
to the sellers to try to scare a bigger credit or a longer list of repairs. Yeah. But for the buyers, it's not meant to scare them. And I know we're of the same mindset when we're getting those scheduled inspections for buyers. We always give them options.
Yep.
People that we know or have a good reputation from past clients or other agents that have recommended them, depending on the areas. Give a few options to buyers of who they can reach out to. Well, in most cases, I think we reach out to get the pricing, availability.
Yep. Well, I mean, for some people, it's I want the cheapest person, which is, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. They're all, I find that the ones that we work with are sort of in the same ballpark price range.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes down to personality too. There's some inspectors that I think work with certain personalities maybe a little bit better, or some specialize more so in, I know that we use a lot of the same one for more of the older homes, more of the historic homes that can take care of those a little bit, just have a different set of eyes for that sort of thing. So, we'll offer multiple inspectors and say, here's who I recommend and why, but it's up to the clients.
It's always based on past client experience.
Sure.
If I have a client that's worked with, whether it be inspector, contractor, same goes for lenders and insurance agents as well. If a client says, had a great experience, I heartily recommend them, I'm going to ask them to, maybe shoot me a text or an email saying what their thoughts are, so that I can share it with future clients.
Right.
Or anybody that's, just asking, friends, family as well. We do most everything based on past recommendations and experiences, so that we're not just kind of shooting darts in the dark.
Sometimes you have to, because maybe nobody in the firm has worked with some of these one-off situations, and we just kind of have to go shoot from the hip, so to speak.
Look up a Google review.
Google reviews. Or
Chris had a situation, another agent in our firm, where he was dealing with a client that was well outside of our normal geography. And I think it was a septic inspection that was needed. And I know he just depended on Google reviews. And honestly, nowadays that's easier because most people do have some kind of reviews out there that you can take a look at. Yeah. Same with referring out.
Well, that's
deals.
Always good too, to reach out to other areas. I mean, as I say, we're obviously based around the Charlotte metro area, and I've got a lot of people up in the Triad. I know we've got some friends that's out towards
the Raleigh
area and out towards the coast. So regardless of where our peoples are at, we have the resources to reach out and to say, hey, who can you recommend, or do different things for different situations. But
it's networking is important, in that part, in the aspect of the home inspections or the work to be done from the home inspection report, as it is within our own little circle of agents.
I mean, there's a ton of different inspections that you can have. It just depends on the property, right? I mean,
I get clients that come from different parts of the country where I think things are more common. If you're on the West Coast or some areas, I know it's very common to have mold inspections, air quality inspections. We don't see that as much out here. It's just an infrequent issue.
Like radon as well. I know we talked about that recently as well. We have pockets of it in different areas.
but less common. I think, and some of that too, I think stems from not as many basement homes in our area as there are in some other parts. But I mean, the one that I had done for a buyer client just a few days ago, they had a radon inspection because it was a basement home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of just give you the education to the clients. There's stuff from the EPA brochures about radon, water quality,
Yeah, sure.
lead paint, that
Well,
sort of stuff. Yeah.
Depends on the age of the home, if you're talking a 1950s house, that's maybe on septic and maybe on well, then there's a few extra inspections or
Yeah.
extra things you want to take a look at versus a house that was built in 2020 and
Right. Once
it's on city water,
has that
city
dangerous
sewer.
shit's been outlawed now, so
Do
like
it?
it's like the asbestos
Oh,
and the
yeah, yeah,
lead
yeah.
and all that stuff. So we don't. Yeah, it depends on age.
It does. Depends. It's like us. Depends on our
It
age.
does. God. Yeah, we're right on the cusp of that of needing lead tests ourselves, right? Um,
Oh.
yeah, the lead based paint thing. That's another one that comes up sometimes. I've had clients ask, "Do I need to?" Because we have a lead based paint disclosure in North Carolina,
We do.
which I know many other states do as well. That says if the home was built before 1978, there is
78 or
a
before, yeah.
chance that it has
I mean,
lead paint.
Just don't chew the walls, dude. Excuse me. Don't chew on the wall paint.
Did you eat Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
Not that I know of, but sometimes I wonder.
No, why?
We are delirious today, folks.
It's from those paint fumes in that house that we walked through yesterday too.
Oh gosh,
Jesus.
that was right.
We walked into one house that was
Literally
in
new
construction.
construction,
They had just primed the
Just
walls.
primed it.
Literally hours maybe before.
and it was sealed up. And you walk in, it's like, woo, the waft
VOCs.
nearly walk you down.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna blame today. Ellie, it's all your fault.
It's all your fault, Ellie. You got us a little too much of a contact high. But the food was good.
Food was good. We worked for food.
Yeah. We have we're fortunate to have a lot of partners in the new home
We do.
construction
Whoop.
area and many other partners that a lot of times will host little lunch and learns for us,
Yeah.
which helps us to
Well, we
keep our thumb
we
on
invite
the
them to the
pulse.
firm too to come
Yeah.
hang out at our monthly meetings and whatnot and to share information. That's what it's all about at the end of the day is sharing is caring.
Yeah. I mean, we're here doing podcasts, but most of the stuff that we talk about, we've gleaned from others, the professionals in the
Yeah.
in the business. So
Live and learn, dude.
pass it along. But I think to sum up everything when we talk about home inspections is it's not meant to frighten anybody. But
No, not at all.
if you have questions about it, you can reach out to us. We'll probably pass you along to our trusted people in the business to answer it more directly.
The professionals.
The professionals that have the credentials to
Oh, yeah.
back up what they're saying,
Licensed.
licensed and credentialed, and insured and bonded. But yeah, there's a lot more that I know we could talk about when it comes to
Just
homes and
I think, as you say, it
repairs.
just kind of boils down to, when you work with a realtor and you're purchasing a home, get the inspections, find out as much as you can about it, and let your realtor, let us take you through it and explain and go over and let us help point out and work with the inspectors. They point out what needs to be addressed and we can fix the solution or offer credits or whatever have you from there. So
Yeah, and don't. I mean, my God, if you have an issue, don't defer it. We talked about that before, but if you
beat
know
that dead
something's wrong
horse.
in your home, what's that?
I said, we'll beat that dead horse. Don't
Yeah,
defer.
God, yeah. Just take care of it, and that because it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, America's ass, at some point.
Ass.
So, yeah.
On that note,
On that note, that's we got a lot of good stuff planned
do.
for some future episodes.
I know.
We're excited about the holiday season coming up now.
Needless to say.
Yeah. So on that note, we'll close it out. Join
I told
us
you we're
again
delirious today.
a little bit, but before you click away, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. Share the podcast. We definitely
Sharing
appreciate
is
it.
caring.
Sharing is caring in this industry. Your referrals are your greatest way of saying thank you.
Yes. Give us some snaps.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
guys.
it. You can find us on social media. I'm Regan at Regan.
And I am Bridget Quinn, and you can find me at B Quinn Realtor. Stay tuned for the next time, guys. See you later.
Thanks.